From Thursday the 4th of February to Thursday the 12th of February, the Boar has been holding its Charity Week supporting the Teenage Cancer Trust. Throughout the week, there has been the release of a charity print edition, numerous events to raise money, and a number of challenges for the exec to do once the money had been raised. The Boar's Charity Week has been about raising awareness and raising money for the only UK charity providing specialised nursing care and support for young people with cancer.
Well, the Teenage Cancer Trust is the only charity in the UK supporting students with cancer. Currently, under the how it's done at the moment, teenagers are treated exactly the same as 4-year-old children. Play blocks and all that stuff. At the Boar, I've covered several times stories of students at work with cancer, and it seemed like a cause that really needs addressing. We're very proud to be working with the trust to help bring awareness to the cause. I think it's about just making students be aware of the fact that it really could be any of them. There's 3,000 students a year diagnosed with cancer, which is an astonishing number. You don't think of cancer as a thing that students go through. These are the most important years of our life. You don't really think that it could happen to any of us, and it really is important, I think, to just draw attention to those struggles. If you are going through cancer, you're not alone, and if you think you may have cancer, get tested. It really is something that can happen to you, and if it does, it's not the end of the world. It's not something that you shouldn't find out because you're scared of the possibility of what it could be. You're not alone. The Teenage Cancer Trust is there, and I think it's a brilliant cause to bring attention to.
The core of Charity Week was the special print edition with a number of fantastic stories and reports from people across the board. Whilst the print included its usual types of stories, some were more focused on charity and the impact charity can have, especially the Teenage Cancer Trust.
So for the Boar's charity edition, I wrote an article that was summarising an interview that we were sent from Kelly Underwood, who is a 24-year-old from Birmingham who got diagnosed with cancer. And I think it's a really heartwarming story for a lot of reasons, and it really highlights why we chose to support the Teenage Cancer Trust. And I think the main reason is that as a young person, Kelly found that she didn't really have anyone around her who was going through the same thing, or she thought that she wouldn't. But then it was only from going to the Teenage Cancer Trust ward at the hospital in Birmingham that she found people that were going through the same thing at the same age that she was. And I think when you go through something as life-changing as cancer, it's obviously going to hit you so hard no matter what age you are, but there is something so uniquely difficult about it hitting you at the age that kind of we're at. And we wanted to support people that were just like us, who thought they were just going to be dealing with dissertations and deadlines and circling or whatever it might be, but to then be struck with a cancer diagnosis obviously just changes your world in a way that none of us can really imagine until we've been through it. And so some of the incredible work that the article highlights is, for example, when you're 24 and you've been diagnosed with cancer, you also have to worry about things like how you're going to fund your life, because obviously you can't work anymore. And the Teenage Cancer Trust were able to help Kelly apply for grants and things like that. And similarly, she had to think about things like fertility. Will I be able to have kids anymore? And the Teenage Cancer Trust were also there to help her through that sort of like life-changing decision. And just the things that you never think you'd have to think about, that she then had to think about. And I think what the article really highlights is how they were able to be there for her as a young person specifically. And the Teenage Cancer Trust is one of the only charities that really dedicates that support to and caters it to young people. And I think that's exactly why we chose to sort of support them with this charity edition, is that they're people that are just like us who just need that extra support as they go through something. So I feel like traumatic's the wrong word, but like so life-changing.
Other articles looked at charity more broadly. Sam Waddle looked into the relationship between the state and the charity sector.
So the core premise of my argument is that actually, when it comes to short-term impact, charities are the best way to help people out. I think this has been proven time and time again, not just in this country, but around the world, whether through domestic charities, local charities, even international charities. One of the key examples I point to is the use of food banks in the UK. This has grown exponentially over the last couple of decades. There are now over 3 million people reliant on food banks. 1 in 9 UK adults are expected to become potentially reliant on food banks by the end of the decade. And one of the key ways of tackling the food poverty that this has led to is the Trussell Trust. The Trussell Trust are a charity which operates the majority of food banks in the UK. They provided help to lots of people. They delivered millions of food packages, including over 1 million to children in the last year alone. And this is an essentially important service. They were crucial, for example, during the pandemic, of helping children who were on free school meals alongside people like Marcus Rashford, providing that urgent response. And you can see this all around the world. There are other charities as well. Look at the breakthroughs in the last few months on cancer and Alzheimer's treatments. These are, world-changing developments that can save countless lives and improve the livelihoods of many already suffering from these diseases. But as much as that is a good thing, and as much as I would encourage everybody to give to causes they believe in and support charities and applaud those who work in the charity sector, it's also true that this isn't enough by itself. And charities like the Trussell Trust, which do such an amazing job, have admitted this. They cannot really tackle the root causes of food poverty themselves. They can address the symptoms, they can provide emergency relief. But far too often charities are only able to scratch the surface, and they're only able to get to people once they are in a desperate situation. If we are to truly strive to be the kind of society we should want to be, we also need the state to play a role. This doesn't mean that the state has to do everything or be a nanny state. This doesn't mean that the state should run every single element of government-run grocery stores and all kinds of every element of life. You can argue for those things and we can talk about the level of state involvement, but it is true that a key reason for food poverty is that wages haven't kept up. It is true that a large reason people have suffered with Alzheimer's and cancer and had to get treatment potentially too late is because our NHS waiting lists now encompass 1 in every 8 members of the UK population. And so if we are really to cause long-term improvements in our society, it is important that charities work with, not instead of, the government. It's only through that collaboration we can have a better world for us all.
The other big part of the week were the amazing events led by the head of events, Hannah Lee. These events saw members of the Boar and beyond having fun, learning more about the charity, and also raising an amazing over £500.
I'm Hannah and I'm the events officer at the Boar, and we've had a very exciting charity week over the past 8 days. We've had a charity circle raised £200 in one night, which we were so chuffed for. We've also had a charity craft night, and we are finishing off the week with a lovely film night. We've raised over £500 so far, and we are hoping to hit our goal of £600 by the end.
So we've had an incredible week of events fundraising for the Teenage Cancer Trust, and we blew through our £500 target at the bake sale on Friday of last week, and now it is Tuesday and we're here at the charity craft night and we've already almost hit £550. So we're so proud of the incredible work everyone in the exec and everyone who's come to events has done to raise money for this amazing cause. And we will also be doing our 24 hours in a location and the other challenges that we've listed because of all these thresholds that we've blown through, so keep an eye out for all of that coming soon.
I mean, of course it's going to be important. People are struggling. You need to help people. That's like the truth. I mean, we're journalists, obviously, but that means we're here to report on things and find things that are important to talk to people about. And this is just one of many things that we can raise awareness about.
Exactly. And I just really like that Boar took this sort of philanthropic turn. And not only does it have like fun events, you can also like, just raise awareness in general. It's just so fun though.
It's
like
just
circling.
a fun way of supporting people.
Yeah.
It's been a busy week for the Boar, putting in so much work to raise money and raise awareness for an amazing charity. As Sanjana's article shares, the Teenage Cancer Trust has been able to connect Kelly with other young people with cancer, support her with issues like grants, and bring moments of happiness at such an important time. We are proud to be supporting the Teenage Cancer Trust.